What's going on, everyone? Talon here, and welcome to another account progression video. Alright, so we're going to be getting another tier 2, and it's going to be Jane Foster. So I've been wanting a tier 2 Jane Foster for a little while now. I really like her tier 2, so that's one of the reasons why, and I actually like using the character as well. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at her before we tier 2 her. So she's energy attack, so we just have energy attack or all attack. We have all defense. We have a little bit of dodge and then HP. And then we have a mixture of skill cooldown and ignore defense. And the obelisk is just a 4-star obelisk, but I kind of like the combination of stats, so that's why I decided to keep it on her. Because we have lightning damage, ignore dodge, and a damage proc, so decided to just keep it there because I'm not really going to be using her kind of like competitively or anything like that, so I don't really need to have a 6-star obelisk on her. I mean, of course, you get better stat values from a 6-star, but I'm not necessarily going to get that combination, so that's why I decided to just keep this here. Alright, and then her skills. None of her skills really need to be leveled up because none of them give her any bonuses, so you don't really have to worry about that. Her leadership is just, not really that useful. Lightning resist with a little bit of crit damage, and that's all. But then her tier 2, which is what we're going to be getting today, is actually pretty nice. So it increases her damage or her skill damage by 25% and bonus damage by 20%. She gets some guaranteed dodge, which is really nice because she does need some more survivability. She is quite a fragile character. And then we have increased lightning damage by 60%. That's Lincoln's leadership, so she gets a huge boost to her damage right there. So that's really nice. So she's going to get a lot of DPS and a slight increase in survivability because 30% isn't too high, but it should be noticeable. And her isolate set that I have on her right now is overdrive, so I do just have a attack base set on her right now. Ideally, I wanted to roll drastic density or I am also Groot on her just to give her a little more survivability, but an attack set works right now for her. Alright, so let's take a look at our details just really fast here. So her skill cooldown could use still a little more work. It's at 34%. Ignore defense is only 21%, and then she's got 28 ignore dodge. So not too bad. So let's go ahead and get her to tier 2 then. So we're going to be using a ticket on her because I don't have any extra bios. So here we go. Yes, please. Alright, perfect. Tier 2 Jane Foster. So, yep, got Power Surge. The Mighty Thor, eh? Alright, if you say so. So, now that we got her nice and freshly tier 2, let's go ahead and try her out a little bit. Alright, so here we are, floor 15 of Shadowland. We're going to do the Loki boss mode. We're going to use this team here for a team-up bonus and Moon Girl's leadership. And we're going to see how Jane Foster can handle Loki. So, Jane Foster is still quite a fragile character, so it's really tough for her to do any of these stages that have more than one main enemy. So she kind of needs just one target to focus on, or else she's kind of gets killed pretty fast. She's pretty low on the defense and HP field, it seems like. But her damage is quite nice, because as you can see, she wipes out most of the mob with her 5th skill there in just one use, which is actually pretty good considering this is floor 15. So her damage is nice, just her survivability is still quite low, so that can be a little tough to work around sometimes. Alright, so she was able to beat Loki, but as you saw, I had to switch out a few times, so that was just because she was getting pretty low on health, so I needed to recover a little bit, because she just doesn't have the survivability that I would like. So she's pretty much like a glass cannon. She has really high DPS, but she dies pretty fast. So let's go ahead and try her out in World Boss now for a little bit. Alright, so here we are at World Boss. We have Supergiant today. We're going to use Captain Marvel leadership, and we're going to have Sif for the team up bonus. And we're going to go in with no strikers, of course, because we want to try her out as, see what her damage is at tier 2. Alright, so Jane Foster did end up dying there, so we're just going to finish it out with Captain Marvel here, because she pretty much did most of the work, but she's just a really fragile character, so you kind of have to play really carefully with her, and just time your skills to survive, basically, because only a few hits and she's already pretty low on health. But her damage is pretty high, because 2 minutes and 39 seconds without strikers is pretty good, and she only has the 30% leadership, not the 60 lightning or anything like that. So you can take that into account as well. So definitely a glass cannon, but I'm still happy I tier 2'd her. She's going to be a fun character to use. She's probably going to be a character I use as like a secondary character that I switch to when I want to do some burst damage and that kind of stuff. But she's not going to be a recommended like early tier 2. She's probably a tier 2 that you may get once you have a nice tier 2 roster built up and you kind of want to start tier 2 in characters for fun kind of thing. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this look at tier 2 Jane Foster, and I will catch you in the next one.